program created by Rio Grande.
San Francisco County Sheriff's Office calling all cars. Attention all cars to broadcast 286 regarding a missing person. Be on the lookout for Marion Williams, age 18 years, 5 feet 2 inches, weighs about 105 pounds. Was last seen at the Emmanuel Church. That's all. Rosenquist.
Mr. Lindsley, why is this all-purpose quality of the new Rio Grande cracked gasoline so important? Well, which would be better, to saddle your automobile with half a dozen gas tanks, each one carrying a fuel stressing one purpose, or to have only one gas tank filled with a gasoline embodying a scientifically perfect blend of all ingredients essential to meeting every requirement? I understand. Other gasolines have some of these ingredients in varying proportions, but all-purpose Rio Grande cracked has twice as many as ordinary motor fuel, and they're so skillfully combined in the new Rio Grande crack that it's always ready to meet any type of emergency demand. Many thousands of our friends found out all they wanted to know about all-purpose Rio Grande cracked gasoline during the past week, and are in full agreement with drivers of police cars and fire engines in all parts of the state who made their private tests before our public announcement that this amazing new gasoline is the all-purpose motor fuel of the West. Drive into the red and white Rio Grande station in the morning and try it. One tankful of all-purpose Rio Grande crack, and you'll find out why it is more than ever the most highly recommended gasoline sold in the West. The facts around which tonight's Calling All Cars program has been written were taken from the confidential files of the sheriff of San Francisco County. We have therefore asked Sheriff Daniel C. Murphy to open our program from the studios of KSFO.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The story we are to hear tonight is one that has long been famous in California. At the time of its solution, it attracted nationwide attention for the brilliant work which law enforcement officers did in bringing the criminal to justice. The methods of police officers have changed with the times, and more modern equipment makes the work of the law enforcement officer less difficult. But time cannot change the unalterable fact that no matter how cunningly a criminal conceals his crime, he cannot win. Sooner or later, he is brought to justice, and impressed with the truth of the law that crime of any sort is a losing game.
An early April twilight fell over the Mission Dolores section of San Francisco. The tall spire on the bell tower of the Emmanuel Church cast a long black shadow that streaked sideways down the slanting roof and over the stained glass windows, ending abruptly in the square of yellow light that streamed from the library window. Inside, the good women of the church were preparing to decorate for the coming Easter day.
Martha, have you seen the new minister yet this evening? I want to ask him about the lilies.
No, my dear, I haven't. You, Mrs. Hilton? No, I haven't either. But if you ask me, I'm going to have my suspicions about that man.
What do you mean?
You don't mean, Mrs. Hilton. I don't have very much to go on. But if you remember our last minister... And forbid, Mrs. Hilton. Don't even mention his name.
You don't mean you think he has anything to do with Blanche's disappearance?
Now, don't misunderstand me, Mrs. Hilton. I didn't say exactly. But poor little Blanche Lamont. She was such a sweet little thing.
Martha, why, you speak as though she was dead.
She could be. No one's seen her since last Wednesday night. And you know Marion Williams is so upset about it. She and Blanche were such good friends, they were almost like sisters. Speaking of Marion Williams, did you notice she wasn't at Endeavor meeting last week?
Mm-hmm. Let's don't talk about it anymore. All this disappearance and mystery frightens me half to death. I'm not any too well, you know.
Yes, dear, we know. Oh, hey, girls, doesn't that organ music sound just beautiful?
What he's playing now does. But I Have you ever heard him play that awful music of his?
Yes, weird, isn't it? Why, he shouldn't be allowed to play such music on the church organ.
You're absolutely right, Martha. Oh, Mrs. Sluggan, would you mind getting the flower baskets while we go on into the auditorium?
Not at all, not at all. Wonder if they look as awful as they did last year. Should get some new ones.
Oh, where are they, Mrs. Lewis? Oh, they're in that closet right over there under the belfry stairs. At least that's where we left them last year.
Well, I'll look and see.
Oh!
What's the matter? Be quiet, all of you. Be quiet. Now, Mrs. Chilton, what's the matter in here?
Oh, Mr. Halsey, she's in there.
Who is?
Marion Williams.
Marion Williams.
Yes. Yes, and she's dead.
Detectives Harvey and Andrews were assigned to the case and proceeded to question some of those brave enough to have remained on the scene.
Reverend, where were you when the body was first discovered?
Well, I was on my way here from the parsonage. I heard the screaming and crying as I first entered the church. It was a sad day for my congregation.
Were you acquainted with the murdered girl?
Sir, I am the shepherd. I know my flock well. Yes, I knew her. She was one of the Sunday school students, almost old enough to become a member of the church.
Who else knew her?
Why, everybody in the church. Mr. Halsey, our organist. Mr. Durant, our assistant Sunday school superintendent. Everybody in the entire congregation.
Have you any idea of why she was murdered or by whom?
My dear man, I am a minister of the gospel. It is my duty to spread the word, not delve into the works of Satan.
On through the hours of that early spring evening, Harvey and Andrews plied their questions and received in answer only a maze of tangled facts and fancy. Finally, with no real evidence other than that found on the murdered girl and the fact that she had been strangled by a left-handed person, Harvey and Andrews decided to wait until the next day to complete their search, feeling that important clues might be overlooked in the darkness. As the first rays of the morning sun touched the stained glass windows where the shadow of the church spire had fallen the evening before, Detectives Harvey and Andrews began a careful search of the church, while high above them the bells in the tower joined in the paean of chime to the risen saint.
Oh, there you are.
And who are you?
We're detectives. Who are you?
I'm the sexton of this church.
You all through ringing those bells?
Ringing those bells, indeed. I'll have you to know I was playing the Easter morning chime.
I beg your pardon. I meant if you were finished, we wanted you to help us search the building.
Well, why didn't you say so, then? You want to start at this floor?
Yeah. Where do these stairs go?
Up to the gallery. There's more up there going up to the bell tower.
Well, that's about the only place left, so come on.
The door to the bell tower's right over there.
Yeah. Hey, look there. The handle's broken off. Andrews, see if you can get it open.
All right, Harvey. Can't seem to do anything with it. It's locked.
You got a key to this door, Sexton?
No, my key only fits the front door.
And why do you keep the church doors locked?
Well, of course we do. Thief's no respecter of a holy edifice.
Well, who has the keys to the church besides you?
Mr. Halsey, the organist, has one. Mr. Durant has one to the side door, and our pastor has a complete set.
Do you ever use this side door?
Never. I have to lock up when I leave, and I always use the front door.
Who has a key to this door?
I don't know.
Say, Harvey, all this talk isn't getting this door open.
Well, I hate to do this, especially in a church, but I guess there's nothing else to do but break it down. All right, Andrews. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, once more. There. Now, watch your step. Stairs are kind of steep.
It's kind of dark in here, ain't it?
There's a trap door just up there above you. That's why it's so dark in here. It's shut.
Seems to me you know quite a bit about this bell tower.
Now, listen, I helped to build this church. Does that answer your insinuation?
No harm, then.
No.
Hey, what's the matter?
Bumped my head on a trap door.
Need any help to get it open?
No. I don't think it's locked. There. I see a little better. Come on up.
See anything, Harvey?
Not over this way. Good Lord.
What is it?
Look over there.
Lord, have mercy on us. It's Blanche Lamont. Oh, our father's wife.
Here was the second cold-blooded murder that faced the detectives, and with their careful search for clues came the first accurate hint of the killer. Beside the body of the dead girl, Detective Harvey makes his first discovery.
Andrews, look. Here's some horsehairs.
Horsehairs? What would they be doing in this bell tower?
Well, that's just it. Don't you see? They must have fallen from the clothing of whoever committed this murder.
Hey, speaking of hair, look at this girl's fingers.
What do you mean?
Looks like she put up quite a battle. See there on the fingers of her right hand? Some short hairs.
Here. I'm going to take a few of her own and those horsehairs down to the laboratory. Not much to go on, but it's a start.
Hey, Harvey, do those marks on her throat look odd to you?
Odd? No. What if they go one step more in finding the killer? We know he rides a horse, and we know the color of his hair.
And from those marks, we know we're looking for a man who's left-handed. The following day, a package was sent to Miss Lamont's aunt, containing 3 rings that belonged to her missing niece. On the newspaper with which the package was wrapped was written the names of Marion Williams' music teacher, the church organist, and the assistant superintendent of the Sunday school. Detectives Harvey and Andrews set out to question these men, not forgetting a fourth, the unknown sender of the package, whose writing was said to resemble that of the minister.
Yeah? Are you Professor Crand?
I'm Professor Krantz. You wish music lessons, yeah?
Well, no, Professor. We're detectives. We want to ask you a few questions.
Oh, dear girl, I knew. Yes, she was a good person, too.
There were 2 poor dead girls, Professor.
To it, he said. Would you come in, please? I am just this day past 72 years on this tire with this tail say, so won't you come in, please?
Well, no, Professor. Just one more question. Can you account for your whereabouts for the past week?
Yeah, I was right here in my house. Now I do not walk so good. I never go out in the walk.
You own a horse and buggy?
No more. But once I did, it was a beautiful horse.
Well, thank you, Professor, for answering our questions. And congratulations on your birthday.
Gentlemen, good day.
Well, Andrews, I guess that just about eliminates him.
I reckon it does. But let's have another talk with that minister. I think maybe he can add something.
Reverend, you have keys to the church.
Yes, I have keys to every door.
Do you have a key to that little door leading off the balcony to the bell tower?
Certainly. It's a very ordinary lock. Any skeleton key will fit it. There was no reason for you gentlemen to break it down.
You forget that the handle was broken. But never mind that for now. Do you own a horse?
No, I do not.
You ever ride a horse?
Well, I have ridden, but not lately. You see, the limited wealth of my present congregation does not allow me to afford such
Reverend,
luxuries.
Reverend.
Yes?
Here's a brand new comb. Would you mind running it through your hair?
Well, I'm sure I don't see your point, gentlemen, but if it will oblige you. Yeah.
Thank you, Reverend.
Now, if you'll just sign this little paper giving it permission to go through the church at any time.
Well, you seem to have been doing that already, but if it will help you. Here, give it to me. There you are. No, I see no sense to it. Now, is there anything else?
Yes, one more thing. There's a pair of shoes I picked up in your study. Are they yours?
Yes, they're mine, some old ones.
Well, I'm going to take them to headquarters. I'm curious about these brown stains on them.
Gentlemen, many trials and tribulations have fallen my lot. These are turbulent days, but you two would try the patience of Job. Good day.
Yeah. Looks like we kind of ruffled his feathers a bit.
Well, anyway, we got what we wanted. Now let's look up Mr. Halsey, the church organist. Now, Mr. Halsey, where were you during the afternoon of April 3rd?
I was at the church practicing on the organ.
Were you acquainted with the two murdered girls?
Yes, I knew them both.
Do you own or ride a horse?
I don't own one, but I do ride occasionally.
Hey, would you mind running your hand through your hair? Yeah, thank you. Now let me see your hand.
Why are you taking those loose hairs?
I'm making a collection.
Now, Mr. Halsey, we want you to sign this paper stating you were in the church on the afternoon of April 3rd. Thank you. Did anyone see you in the church on April 3rd?
Why, yes, Mr. Grant saw me.
About what time was this?
It was about 5 o'clock or a little later. And, say, now that I think about it...
About what?
He came down out of the belfry.
Huh?
What?
Yes, sir, and he was as pale as a ghost. He asked me to get him a drink of water, and I did.
And what did he say to you? Did he tell you why he'd been up there?
Yes, and it seemed rather strange, too. He said he had been fixing the gas lights, and that the escaping gas had nearly suffocated him.
Well, now I think we're getting someplace. Harvey, let's go back to headquarters and see what the laboratory tests show, and then we'll send for Mr. Durant. What disappointment awaited the two detectives, for the laboratory tests proved that the various samples of hair collected did not match the hairs taken from the Lamont girl's fingers. Nor were stains on the minister's shoes blood, but oil. Nevertheless, the case was rapidly narrowed. Suspicion was centering on Mr. Durant, who, answering their summons, knocked on Captain Clark's door at headquarters. Come in.
Captain Clark?
Yes.
You sent for me.
I'm Ted Durant.
Oh, yes, come in. Mr. Durant, this is Detective Harvey, and this is Detective Anders, assigned to the two murdered girls.
Well, Captain, I'm at your service, sir.
We have a few questions we would like you to answer.
Gladly, sir. I'll do anything I can to help clear all this up.
Do you own a horse, Mr. Durant?
No, this is one that I ride quite frequently.
And where do you keep him stabled?
With all the others of the Signal Corps of the National Guard. I'm a member of that troop.
Are you still studying to be a doctor?
Yes, indeed. I'm in my senior year at the Cooper Medical College here in San Francisco.
How long have you been connected with the church?
Ever since I was a very small boy. My entire family is very religious.
Do you spend a lot of time in church work?
Yes, sir, I do. Particularly Sunday school work and the young people's endeavor.
Where were you on April the 3rd? That is, in the early afternoon.
I was at medical school.
Did you go by the church on your way home?
Well, yes, I did. Yeah, I'd noticed that the gas jets of the light fixtures in the belfry needed fixing, so I stopped in to see if I couldn't make the repairs.
Mr. Halsey tells us that you came down out of the bell tower about 5 o'clock.
Well, it was about that time, yes. Yes, you see, to make the repairs, I had to lie down at full length on the plank, which made my head lower than my feet. Lying in that position, naturally, the blood rushed to my head. Well, it made me feel pretty faint, and so when I came down, I found Mr. Halsey there. I asked him to get me a drink of water. Then we left the church together about 6.
What did you do then?
Well, I came back to the church later for prayer meeting. I saw Blanche's aunt. I asked her if Blanche was coming to the meeting, and she said that she believed she was. But then, of course, Blanche didn't come. So right after prayer meeting, I went home.
Now, if you will, Mr. Durant, I'd like to have you come over here by my desk.
Certainly, Captain. What would you have, sir?
Just lean your head over this sheet of paper and brush your hair with your hand.
It's a strange request, Captain. Why do you want me to do that?
Well, frankly, Mr. Durant, we want a sample of your hair.
Sample of my hair? Oh, here.
Oh, you didn't need to fill out a handful. 1 or 2 would have done.
You really are serious about your suspicions of me?
Where murder is concerned, we must be suspicious of everyone.
Is there anything more, sir?
Yes, there is. Would you please give us your signature? Here's a pen. You can use that piece of paper there.
There you are, sir.
Well, thank you for coming down here, Mr. Durant. We'll get in touch with you later.
I'm glad to have been of service. Good day, gentlemen. Well, Captain, what do you think?
He's got a clean record. But just the same, we're going to check this hair. And I want you fellas to go out and ask questions. Talk to the church members. Go out to the National Guard stables and get me a few hairs from the horse he rides. Maybe somewhere we'll get a definite lead, and we'll either clear him entirely or cinch our case.
While Detective Harvey went in search of Durant's horse, Andrews called upon church member after church member, finding in the amazing amount of conversation they were willing to divulge only one fact of importance. Durant was late to that Friday night Endeavor meeting and was seen to enter the washroom before joining the others. At the stables of the National Guard, Detective Harvey quickly found the horse ridden by Ted Durant and secured a sample of hair. Reporting back to headquarters, Harvey and Andrews are again in the office of Captain Clark.
Boys, Durant's hair matches the hair found on the Lamont girl's fingers. He was late for Endeavor meeting the night Marion Williams was killed, and he was in the bell tower the day Blanche Lamont was murdered.
Pardon me for breaking in on you, Captain.
Oh, it's all right, Simpson. What is it?
The hair sample from Durant's horse matches the sample that was found in the bell tower, and none of the other samples did.
Thank you, Simpson. Now, there's one more thing. Let's check and see if Durant really was at school on the afternoon of April 3rd.
Attendance records at the medical school showed Theodore Durant's presence on April 3rd. But determined to make certain, Harvey and Andrews began to question some of the students of Durant's class.
Do you know Ted Durant?
Sure, why?
Was he in class on April 3rd?
I don't remember. I don't sit near him. Is there any way the attendance records could show a man was present when he really was absent? Sure. All you got to do is to get someone to answer for you when the roll is called. There's so many in the class, nobody pays any attention to you. Did you answer present for Ted Durant on April 3rd? No, sir.
Did you answer here for Ted Durant on April 3rd?
Nope. Did you answer here?
Not me.
Did you answer?
No. Did you?
No, it wasn't me.
Did you answer present for Ted Durant on April 3rd?
Well, yes. Why? Finally. After 62 others didn't.
Well, just why did you answer for him when he wasn't there?
He asked me to. He said he had something he wanted to do and didn't want his name to be marked down as absent. We all do it for each other now and then.
What kind of a student is he?
He gets good grades, if that's what you mean.
Is he going for athletics?
Sure. And can he pitch a baseball? Why, he can put him over with either hand. You mean he uses his left hand as well as his right? Sure. He's going to make a good doctor. He'll be able to operate with either hand. He's really a fine example of ambidexterity.
You may not know it, young fellow, but as a start to your medical career, you just signed a death warrant.
Arriving at the Durant residence, Detectives Harvey and Andrews discovered that Ted Durant had gone to Mount Diablo with the Signal Corps. Checking at the National Guard headquarters, they find that the troop is at that moment in communications with headquarters by means of reflected sun rays, the heliograph. Explaining their mission to the officer in charge, a strange message begins to flash toward Mount Diablo.
Hey, Captain Bruce, there comes a message from headquarters for you. Yeah, so it is. Let's both put our glasses on. Captain Bruce, urgent, private, Theodore. Yeah, it's about me. With murder. No, it isn't true. Arrest and hold for local officer. No, authority. No. They must be playing a joke on me, Captain. It's not true. It isn't true. It's no joke, Durant. Those code signals at the end meant official orders. Oh, I'm innocent, Captain. Well, that's not for me to decide. Private Durant, I place you under arrest.
Ted Durant was turned over to the local authorities. But there was a weakness in the state's case against him. His denial of guilt was steadfast. No bloody clothing had been found, and there were no eyewitnesses. A confession was needed. Realizing that Theodore Durant possessed a triple personality, his virile association with the National Guard, his curious interest in the workings of the human body as evidenced by his choice of profession, and his moral attitude toward life gained through his religious training, Captain Clark placed him in solitary confinement, hoping that the conflict of these personalities might cause him to break down.
It's so dark. So still in here.
Buck up, soldier. You're not afraid. regrets. You're a man. You have a perfect right to do anything you want.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I am a man. Just like anyone else.
Yes, you are a man. But what's the mystery about it all? You know all about people, how they are, what they do.
That's true. I do know. But I'm only human.
Don't you remember the command? Thou shalt not kill.
Yes, I do. Forgive me. Forgive me.
Now, what's so wrong about killing? A soldier protects himself at all times.
Yes, it's true. And if she told, my reputation would have been ruined.
Doctors know about psychology. You were almost a doctor. Why didn't you use psychology?
I could have. That's right. I could have.
She trusted you. She believed everything you taught her in Sunday school. She believed.
I believed what I said, too. Don't you see? I didn't know what I was doing.
You knew what you were doing. But it's all right. Everything is fair in love and war.
Everything is fair in love or war. Fair in war, fair in love.
Too emotional. Pull yourself together. Remember your training. You're not a bundle of nerves, but a cold-blooded machine. Definite. Precise.
Cold-blooded machine. I am a cold-blooded machine. I will be definite. Precise. Definite. Precise. A cold machine.
And on the third day, the stone was rolled away from the mouth of the sepulchre, and our Savior arose from the grave.
No, don't talk like that.
The resurrection. He died to cleanse us of our sins. There may be forgiveness.
Please forgive me. Forgive me.
Only he who believes in it shall have everlasting life.
He died. Blanche Lamont.
No, Blanche, no.
Confess. Tell them that you betrayed me.
No, go away.
Tell them you killed me. Tell them.
Please go away, Blanche. Go away.
Had I killed too, Harry and William?
No.
Confess.
Marion, Blanche, leave me alone. Leave me alone.
You walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Clear your soul. Confess.
No, I
You
didn't.
killed me because I was your friend and I knew.
Oh, Blanche.
Confess.
Marion.
Break her
No.
love, trust no one. Then
No.
she who lays down her life for a friend.
No.
Thou shalt
No.
not.
Stop it. Stop it, I tell you. Taylor, let me out of here. Let me out of here. I confess.
In just a moment, we will present the concluding facts regarding tonight's story. Friends, I want each one of you who haven't gotten around to it to visit the red and white Rio Grande station in your neighborhood, where you'll see the new posters proclaiming the new cracked gasoline with increased power. Treat your car to a tank full of this new all-purpose Rio Grande cracked. When you experience the vast benefits of this amazing fuel, expertly combining twice as many vital ingredients as found in ordinary gasolines, then you'll know greater smoothness of operation, longer mileage, speed and power than you've ever known before. It's more than ever first in public service and preferred by those who know the most and use the most gasoline. Durand did not follow through with his desire to confess and take his punishment, but regained his composure and denied his guilt to the last. He was found guilty, however, and his sentence confirmed by the Supreme Court. His case proves again that crime cannot pay.
San Cove Sheriff's Office calling all cars. Attention all cars to cancellation of broadcast 286 regarding missing person. Suspect in this case was hanged. That's all. Rosenquist.
Narrator Frederick Lindsley, bidding you good night for Rio Grande. Next week at this time, Rio Grande will present the case of the blood-stained car. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.